The Callisto Protocol was released just a couple of days ago, and I just had to bring you its predecessor, the game that started it all. Yes, I'm talking about Dead Space, one of the very few undisputed kings of horror games, an unquestionable title in the genre. The game begins with you, Isaac Clarke, and her crew members heading towards the Ishimura, a spaceship responsible for mining the planet Aegis 7. Ishimura had gone completely silent. Just as they were about to make contact, Isaac's ship is hit by a meteor shower and makes a forced landing on the very same ship they were sent to make contact with. As soon as the crew disembarks, Isaac and his companions make an eerie discovery. There's not a single soul aboard the Ishimura, and that is when Dead Space's horror begins. Coupled with a sound design overseen by Sierra himself, Dead Space's totally claustrophobic game design make for one of the most remarkable horror atmospheres you ever see in any game. Its cramped hallways will always keep you guessing a monster could crawl out of Satan's ass at any given moment through a ventilation shaft, a loose plate on the wall, or whatever. And the art design makes things even more awesome, or some would say worse, because you'll be hearing critters at every waking moment, be it just around the corner or far off in the distance, making it so that the Ishimura itself becomes a hellish room for those abominations you'll face. But Dead Space's mastery does not stop there. Its most instantly rememberable feature ended up the gore to 11, the dismemberment mechanic. And to drive the horror knife even further, they made sure that the dismemberment mechanic was a necessity, not a choice. If you try going for center of mass shots, dude, you're gonna burn through your ammo like your grandmother burned through red lights in 2 seconds. And not only does this save you a gargantuan amount of ammo, but also it has its much needed advantages. You'll often find yourself offing a leg from an opponent to topple it off, and buy yourself a few precious seconds to deal with another raging motherfucker that's coming at you from a different corridor. Take out their arms or claws and you hinder their offensive capabilities as well. And this works for all types of monsters. If you manage to keep your cool, then this mechanic will become fun as hell. Otherwise, you'll just be screaming every 3 minutes like I did on my first playthrough. Yeah. While your arsenal is nowhere near what you'd see in Doom, because let's face it, Doom is on an insanity level of its own, what you find is very useful and in line with the game's narrative. You have the plasma cutter, which became Isaac's trademark weapon. You have a line cutter designed to sever ties with your whole family at once during Christmas, a pulse rifle, a flamethrower, and so on and so forth. The key factor here is knowing which weapon to take and focus on, because you'll also have an upgrade system. So while the fuck every one of you at once weapon, which is the line cutter, may be very useful in a tight spot, maybe you should use the fuck you all but individually plasma cutter weapon that's more reliable and more abundant in ammunition. You can also upgrade both your suit and its stats, and the higher its level, the meaner it looks. You look like a fucking behemoth. And to crown Isaac's offensive capabilities, who proves to be a very resourceful son of a bitch, you also get a telekinesis module, which enables you to impale enemies with their own limbs. And oh yeah, there's this other thing that slows down both objects and enemies to a near crawl. Yeah, it's there. But make no mistake, even though Isaac is very resourceful, this game is brutal. A few well-placed fuck-ups on your part will see Isaac buying the space farm in a heartbeat. So never get too comfortable, because you will regret it. Now onto the story side of things, without giving away too much, it is what you'd expect from a space horror masterpiece. Crew goes missing, there's a lot of screaming, you make contact with your own crew members, they begin dying off, somber discoveries ensue, text logs show you that boarding this ship was a proverbial mistake on your part, and you're gonna love every single moment of it. So in the end, I rarely use the term flawless masterpiece, but Dead Space sure earns it. There's not a single hair out of place in this game, and the fact that we're getting a remake only makes me even more eager for the future of horror games, because whenever Dead Space resurfaces from the depths of hell, waves are made. So, what are your impressions if you've ever played this horror masterpiece? What are your memories of Dead Space? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you next time. Balmond out.